Yeah, there you go. I still have long lost cousins out there.
Today, what a show we have lined up for you. Andy Lang with some prop bets across all sports. Gianni The Greek with where all the wisest syndicates on the planet. Where is their money going tonight? Sean Alvarez and Nick Borrman with an extremely deep dive into the Masters starts tomorrow. Art DiCesare from the Westgate. Where is the money going? And we're going to end the show with Pavlos and a Champions League soccer bet. I'm Lawrence Pressman. You're watching the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Andy Lang right now, right off the bat. My man, what is going on, brother?
It's going pretty good. Just a really good week. We're coming off a 16-unit week for our bankroll reset. Turned another profit in the month of March. So April's off to a really, really good start. So clients are happy. I'm happy. And all three plays that we're going to talk about today are client plays. These are not free plays that we do not have money on. All three plays that we're talking about, we have bet with our own money. So really, really excited to talk some sports with you today, brother.
Always, dude. NHL, let's start right there. You got a prop bet that just keeps on winning.
Yeah, this is a perfect, literally a perfect example of what we do and what my team does. You find these streaks and you keep riding them. And we're going back to Rasmus Andersson, Calgary, over 1.5 shots on goal. And these are the ones that the books are just not really that focused on. They got their attention on other things. So we'll just keep taking these kind of obscure players. This guy's gone over in 9 straight games, Prez. We just keep cashing this for clients. 5.7 shot attempts in the last 10 games.
Yeah.
2.6 shots on goal last 10 games. And he gets the perfect matchup, literally the perfect matchup. And I'm Ducks' worst team in the league at allowing shots on goal. They allow 32 shots on goal per game. So if Calgary gets 32 shots on goal tonight, Rasmus Andersson, we just need him to have 2. And he's gone over in 3 straight games against Anaheim. Again, this is one of these props where you just play it over and over and over again. We're not looking for 1-0 on these props. We're looking for 5-1, 6-2. And Rasmus Andersson's been great. 9 straight winners. So it's definitely a client play for us today.
I love how you unearth all of this stuff. Andy Lang, the best prop better I've ever met. Gianni The Greek coming up right after him. Then we've got some Masters talk with Sean Alvarez and Nick Borrman. Andy, you've got a prop bet for us in the NBA. Emmanuel Quickly, I mean, a name from the gods. How do we bet him?
This is another one that we just keep playing over and over and over again. So Quickly, he's playing for the Raptors, and the Raptors should be tanking, except their players play really hard, and they end up winning some of these games, and Quickly's one of them. Now, he doesn't play all the time. They kind of sit him, and they're kind of doing some load management for some of his injuries, but when he plays, he goes over his rebounds and assists. The number has moved to 9.5. We're going to take the over in 9 straight games, 13.2 potential assists and 7.4 rebound chances per game the last 10. Those are the exact numbers I'm looking for. When I'm looking at rebounds and assists, I want the potential assists and I want the rebound chances to be double or more of what the line is. So he only needs to get 10 rebounds and assists. And when I combine the potential assists and rebound chances, that's 21. So that just absolutely checks the box. He's gone over in 7 straight home games. He had 10 and 18 in the last 2 games against Charlotte, and Charlotte is tanking. You can score 1 million points on this team. The Hornets allow 6.7 rebounds and 8.7 assists to point guards. That's over 15. We only need Quickly to get to 10. So we'll keep riding Quickly over his rebounds and assists.
Andy Lang joining us. Guys, you can get 7 days of all of Andy Lang's picks for only $69. 7 days of every pick this man puts out for $69. There is very rarely a 7-day period where Andy does not win money for his clients. Every time he comes on, he's winning. I'm assuming you're winning still right now. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We're up 69 units in 2025. 7 units were up in the last 7 days. Again, another winning week, another winning month in March. That's 14 out of the last 17 months, and it's Masters. We have a 5% UFC play that is up. We have a 5% PFL play that is up. We've got cross-sport parlays. We have NBA. We have NHL. We have cricket. We have lacrosse. You name it, we've got you covered. It is one of the biggest weeks of the entire year, so that's why we decided to do a 7-day pass. It's a big month, but really the next 7 days is where it's at for us. So huge week. Invite everyone to join us on all these plays. It's a bankroll building week for sure.
$69, 7 days, Andy Lang. Andy, you got a cross-sport parlay for us. What is it?
Yeah, so when we build these cross-sport parlays, we start with one main leg, and that leg is McLaren double podium. Lawrence, we've been talking about this for the entire Formula One season. McLaren have the best cars. They did double podium again last week, and that was on a track that you simply could not pass at. Max Verstappen got out to a lead. The McLarens couldn't get around him. Doesn't matter. They cashed the double podium like we told you they would. They finished second and third. Now they're at Bahrain. This is a track they will absolutely be flying on. Weather is going to be fine. You don't have to worry about wet conditions, damp conditions. So we're going to start with McLaren double podium. It's minus 225. That's a little expensive. So we need some parlay pieces to lower the price. What are we going to do? Well, it's the Masters. We're going to take Colin Morikawa to make the cut, and we're going to take Scheffler to make the cut. These are two of the top 3 golfers in the field this week. Scotty Scheffler, number 1 player in the world. He's won 2 out of the last 3 years. Colin Morikawa was always in the top 10 at the Masters. So you simply put those 2 players to make the cut. You combine it with McLaren double podium, get you around the minus 118, and that is how we build a cross-sport parlay.
There we go. Andy Lang, I got a question from the chat room. Stephen Hobbs. Well, that's a question to me, but I'll answer it and then I'll get to you. Prez, you have a raspy voice. Were you smoking before the start of the show? I was actually doing triceps before the start of the show. I have not had a cigarette since August. So, yeah, that's a no. And as far as my raspy voice, yeah, the women love it. Craig Ike writes, Andy, there's a prop bet in the Masters that no one will get a hole in one, plus 160. Do you like that bet? And Sean Alvarez and Nick Borrman, if you're listening, I will ask you the same.
No. So this all it comes down to the 16th hole, the par 3 on Sunday. The pin location is at the bottom of this lower tier. All of the shots funnel right into the hole. They do this on purpose. So you're probably going to see a hole in one. There's been quite a few over the years. These guys are so good. And again, on Sunday, the ball just trickles down there. It's going to be burning the edge all afternoon on Sunday. So I would not take that one. There are much better tournaments to play not to have a hole in one. But plus 160, not good enough. I would need at least 200. I'd love Sean and Nick's thoughts on this one, but it's all about Sunday and the 16th hole where there most likely will be a hole in one.
Andy Lang, everyone. You can see him everywhere. He was on the Blue Line today. That show is up at WagerTalk TV, and he's the host of Tea Time as well, a deep dive with Nick Borrman into the Masters. Andy, thank you for this. Guys, check Andy out for the next 7 days, $69. And talking about 7-day passes, we've got an incredible offer across the board for every single handicapper. You know, I normally promote everybody but me, but I'm telling you guys, I would use the following promo on me. And that is, it's our get 33% more promotion. It's really straightforward. If you buy 7 days of plays, you get 10. If you buy 30 days of plays, you get 40. If you buy 90 days of plays, you get 120. You buy a year, you get 4 months free added onto that year. So whatever package you buy, 7 days or more, you get 33% more in that package. And I'm absolutely freaking rolling right now, guys. I'm telling you, I lost my NHL play last night. I had over 6 in the Pittsburgh-Chicago game. It ended 5-0. Now my NHL run is 12-3. I'm still the number one NHL expert on the planet. And even though I lost my NHL play last night, I had a winning night for my clients. I won my 4th baseball play in a row. It was another dog, 3 dog winners in a row. I also won my I got to fix that promo. Johnny's already lectured me. But I also won my NBA 7-1 run, and I also won my baseball. So I got to fix the promo. It is not by 7 days get 10. It's by 7 picks get 10. It's part of our flex pick package, which is one of the most sought after things we offer over at WagerTalk. So it's for the flex picks. You buy 7 picks, you get 10. You buy 30 picks, you get 40, etc., etc. Johnny D, I messed that up. My humble apologies. Let's move on. Gianni The Greek joining us. And Gianni will normally be our first guest every day. We jumped him today with Andy, but he'll be back tomorrow. How are you, buddy? What's going on?
Busy, man. Just really busy. Getting into I got to find a new house by the end of this month because this lease is up, and just running around having to do that is taking more time than I want it to. Fortunately, my girl gets to go see them, so I don't have to. But just dealing with that has been a stressor because I want to buy one because when you're the amount that I'm paying monthly, Prez, I could buy $1 million home, the monthly payment.
Incorrect.
But
that is the most incorrect.
Right
That's the most incorrect statement you've ever made on this show. And let me tell you, Gianni, I think you are a financial god, and I think you're a betting machine. But never should you buy a house if you don't need to buy the house. In other words, if you are starting at the age of 25, you're getting married, you want to have a family, you want to live in a house for the next 20 years, you want to build a pool, you want to break down a wall, you want to fix up the living room, buy a house. If you want to make money, never buy a house. And Gianni, this concept of spending rent money, the amount of money I'm spending on rent, I could spend on mortgage. Bullshit. To give you perspective, if you own a house for 28 years and you sell it, you need to make 16-1 to justify buying that house. 16-1. There is no house that you buy for $1 million and sell it for 16 million 28 years later. I don't want to get into this, Gianni, but I'm imploring you to rent. Take that money, put it in the market. It goes up. If you put it on the S&P index.
I've been doing. That's exactly what I've been doing.
That's how you do it.
My ex stole my house. My ex stole the house that I kind of paid off. So that's what I've been doing since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm going to do again.
Yeah, do not buy a house. Real estate has gone up 2.6% consistently for 117 years. That's 2.6%. The S&P index has gone up 10.6% over the same period of time. There is never a time to buy a house unless you want a home to keep for your family as an emotional investment. But from a financial perspective, buying a home is a horrible, and especially now, Gianni, now is the time to deploy money. Now we got a market it's a phony crash. Trump's going to fix all these tariff nonsense in the next 3 months. Everything's going to go back to normal. Anyway, let's move on. They're going to
turn the printing machine back on. Once they do that, assets are going to fly through the roof once that printer goes on.
Yeah. Dan Alexander says, no, he's not. Okay, fair enough, Dan. Let's not get into a Trump is or isn't situation here. Gianni!
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We got games going tonight, man. College basketball is behind us. We've still got a lot in play. We got the NBA. It's heating up. Playoffs right around the corner. We got a huge game between Tampa Bay and Florida tonight in the NHL. Baseball is in full swing. Where are the wisest syndicates putting their money today?
And they're going to need a bounce back day. It's been really good in baseball and all the other little smaller markets that they're betting, but they're coming off a bad day yesterday. Pretty much every overnight they got involved in went the other way. So usually when that happens, it's a good bounce back. So if you lean on any of these, you may want to follow through. Let me get the NBA out of the way first, because rarely are they betting sides, but that's exactly what we did early this morning. We got on 557 Philadelphia -1 and the money line. We got on 564 Dallas at +5, Dallas +4.5, Dallas +4 against the Lakers. No surprise, they're a little bit overvalued at this time of the year. And finally, the LA Clippers. I think someone's got to be out, because we laid the 6.5, we laid the 7. That's one of those numbers that kind of matter in NBA. And they came back and said, lay the 7.5 as well. So they really like the Clippers. That's why I think you're probably looking at a painted 8 across the screen. Now, in Major League Baseball, here's what we're at. We're at game 952. First game on the board. It's an early one. St. Louis and Pittsburgh. They went under 8 last night. This morning, it got bet back up from 7.5 back to 8. They came back and bet more money on the under 8. So it looks like a disagreement between the baseball guys that I work with and another group out there, because we like under 8. They like over 7.5, and we were able to bet it twice. Late last night, early this morning. 960 under 9 in Philadelphia and Atlanta, all the way up to -125. Stopped at the overnight, because I think they went to 8.5 pretty quickly. But on the side, we did bet Atlanta -120 last night. Laid the -125 this morning with them also. Same thing with 963 Houston. After betting them at -120 last night, they laid -125 this morning. They laid -130 this morning as well on Houston. So Atlanta and Houston, both of those follow through. 976, the Cubs, another one. 145 last night, laid the 150 today. So you can see they're betting some favorites, where earlier, the first 2 weeks, it was nothing but dogs. 976 under 8, -105, all the way to -115 on Texas and the Cubs. That was this morning, because when it's at the Cubs, they usually don't put in overnight. They want to see how the weather does. And they went under the 8, where with the side, we were able to bet the Cubs last night, and then the Cubs again this morning. And then 928, Oakland, another follow through as dogs last night, +116, +105, even laid -105. That wasn't enough money this morning. So take some -110 as well. That's what I did. That's why you're looking at Oakland a little bit higher favorite now. And that same game over 9.5 at -105, -110. And today it was at 10 even money, and they took the even money as well. That was my loser yesterday, my only loser in baseball. I went under in that San Diego Oakland game. Luckily or unluckily, it was over by the end of the first inning, so I didn't have to watch any more of it or even look at a score. But yeah, now this time they're flipping that script and going over in Houston and Oakland, Sacramento. Call them what you will. I just call them the A's.
Gianni The Greek, wonderful stuff, man. Guys, if you've never seen or heard Gianni, basically he runs money for some of the best syndicates on the planet. This information he gives out is gold. And one of the great things about these shows is they get put up on YouTube and they sit there so you can rewind it and listen to that all again. What do you have going for the clients tonight?
I'm coming off of the third class of blackjack yesterday. Just wanted to put that out there. These guys that are taking this course are awesome. Just the questions they're asking, and now they're up to the point where they're now about to be the favorite. Like I got them at broke even the first 2 weeks. Now the techniques they're learning, they could actually go into the casino and start feeling a little bit confident that they could make some money. 2 weeks from now, another 2 classes, they'll be able to print money once they get it all down. It's going really well. I want to just say thank you to all those guys that jumped on board. I have a baseball package going up with a 4% in there, number 2 currently in baseball overall. And more importantly, we got the big UFC card in Miami on Saturday, pay-per-view card. I have a 5% up, only the 23rd in the last 365 days. I'm 72% on those, something like 16-6, up 45 units, over 40% ROI. And I threw a 4% in there as well. That package will start to fill up. More and more plays, just like last week. One fighter cost me over 30 dimes last week. That was Cortavius Romeus, his loss cost me a lot of money because we were running perfect till then. But, that's what parlays do. They break your heart. But big weekend planned, and hopefully we do some damage in baseball between now and then.
Gianni The Greek, everyone. Guys, just got a notification. Art will not be joining us. We love Art. He's been with us now for 3-4 years and just got called into a meeting, so he won't make it. We still have Sean Alvarez and Nick Borrman joining us to talk the Masters. We also have Pavlos as well. I'd like a redo on that promo, Dan. I really messed that one up, but it does happen. We've got this great promo where you get 33% more. So we have this program called Flex Picks. It's the easiest, cheapest, most effective way to buy plays from any of the handicappers. We sell picks one at a time. If you buy 7, you get 10. If you buy 30, you get 40. If you buy 90, you get 120. And that will bring the cost of buying our services well below $10. So please take advantage of that. Also, I'm rolling, guys, so make sure to play me. I got 1 baseball, 1 NBA, and 1 NHL up. Sean Alvarez, you sent me an amazing picture last night on Twitter, on Slack. I really want that, man. I just sent it to Dan, so we're going to put it up in a second. But yeah, oh, look at that. We got a Pavlos sighting right in the middle of your segment. Where might Nick Borrman be?
Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
Get 2 guests on at the same time, Prez. You got to give me a second here. But we do have Sean. Nick is also here in the wing.
Yeah, what is that hat? What is PR? Is that an R?
Yeah, the Puerto Rican baseball national team. So kind of their World Baseball Classic hats. And with me being half Puerto Rican, still some long lost family members there, it was definitely something I wanted to grab.
Oh, well, there you go. The Puerto Rican baseball team. I would not have known that. Okay, Sean, we've got Nick joining us any minute now. We have the Masters, which is arguably the biggest golf tournament of the year. It starts tomorrow. I'm going to start right off the bat with that question I asked Andy. Nick, welcome to the show. Same question to you. No hole in one plus 160, yes or no, Sean Alvarez?
Yeah, I thought what Andy said and mentioned about the 16th hole and how it's going to play on Sunday, as well with, just having to swallow plus 160. I was kind of thinking about what I was going to say as Andy was talking, and I was going to come up with the same thing. 16 will probably see a hole in one on Sunday, and if I were going to bet that, I'd probably want, at least 200 plus 200 or better.
Right. And Nick Borrman, what do you think of that bet?
It's I don't know. I would go away from it. It's the same thing. 16. There's so many shots that get so close. You're going to be sweating a lot if it hasn't already happened at that point when they put that pin where everything funnels. So I probably wouldn't bet it. I don't like that number.
Both of you guys, I have a golf lesson at 3 p.m. today. I'm excited. The strategy of this golf teacher is let's master the 7-iron. And then let the rest of the game happen from there. So he's saying if you could hit the 7-iron consistently, 160, 170, you can play it on every hole and still play a much better round than if you were hitting that driver into the woods on a regular basis. And the tournaments, the courses I play at, a lot of 320, 340 par 4s. So, 7-7 on the green, 2-putt, call it a par, get out of here. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Nick, you're both of you are teachers, but the plan is let's master the 7. Nick?
It's a middle iron starting point. So you work a little bit one way on the wedges and a little bit the other way with the driver. So it's a good starting point. My philosophy is a little bit different. It's teaching scoring. I'd rather get you on the golf course. There's something called basically Operation 36. It's your goal to shoot 36. You start a beginner from like 50 yards from the green. Can they score 36 from 50 yards away? If they can, then they graduate to 75 yards, graduate to 100 yards. It teaches you how to score and how to play golf. You don't have to hit perfect shots to play good golf. So I don't know. Spending all day just working on one iron probably is going to get you too far, but it is important to have the basic concept.
And Mr. Alvarez, what's your general teaching strategy?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Nick as far as, scoring and doing more playing lessons when you're out there, and making sure that, you miss in the right spots, and, you're consistent off the tee, around the green. And like Nick said, 50 yards out. My only concern is, I'm sure Nick feels the same way, but my range swing and my course swing are drastically different. So, I don't want to necessarily dial in my range swing and then go to the first hole and not have a clue what I'm doing out there. So I do like to get out on the golf course, especially with playing lessons, to kind of go around the mental game of playing golf.
Guys, hit that like button if you don't mind. Over 100 of you are watching live. Only 33 of you have hit that like button. I think we deserve more. Let's get into some mass betting. We've got a matchup bet from both of you. Nick, I'll go to you first. Keegan Bradley over Davis Thompson. And this is for the 72-hole tournament. So tell us why.
Yeah, Keegan. So basically, we're always going to look at two things: current form, course history. So current form, Keegan, 10 top 22 finishes in his last 13 starts, including a win last fall at the BMW Championship. Thompson, since he won the John Deere Classic last July, he's only got 4 top 25 finishes in 17 starts, including 2 missed cuts in his last 4. So obviously Keegan wins the form battle. Additionally, course history, this is Keegan's 9th start at Augusta. He's made the cut in 7 out of 8 previous starts. He's got 3 top 25 finishes, including each of the last 2 years. Thompson, first time at Augusta National. What's the number one rule of betting Augusta National and the Masters? Do not touch rookies. They're usually, I say usually, not kind. Ludwig Aubert last year, a rare rookie that made a run, but very, very rare. So that course history favors Keegan as well. So listen, it's rare that you get both history and form favoring a guy, and then the books offer you minus 110 odds. So maybe, you know what, maybe this is just a trap setting right up for me, but I'm not going to overthink it. Everything is checking the boxes to go with Keegan, so I think Keegan beats Davis Thompson.
Listen, this is a conversation for another day, but I do not believe under any circumstances that their books are laying traps. Sean Alvarez, what's your tournament matchup bet?
Yeah, so my tournament matchup bet is more or less leaning, trying to fade the golfer that I just don't think is playing well right now. And that golfer for me is Dustin Johnson. Back, obviously, it's a bit ago, back in February of last year, but he won in Las Vegas on the Live Tour. And he was quoted by saying, "I'm shocked with my finish. I haven't been practicing mainly at all. I barely picked up a club when I was taking a break." So, and if you look at his form ever since then, leading up into this week, it's showing that way. It's showing that he's not practicing. He's bleeding strokes to the field on approach, and he's consistently losing 3 to 4 strokes on the field in putting. And while the putting stat category is not necessarily something that is going to lead you to winning the at Augusta and the Masters, it's definitely a stat category to make you lose at Augusta and the Masters. You can put yourself in some really bad spots, and a 2-putt is phenomenal from where you can end up. And the way he's hitting his irons, I don't think he's really going to be flagging them and giving himself good birdie looks. I think he's going to be struggling to scramble and struggling to make pars, even if he can knock it on the green. And on the flip side of that, we've got Sepp Straka that's averaging around 5 strokes gained on approach figures against the field. And he's doing that, in the Players' Championship and the Arnold Palmer, drastically tougher courses than what you see on the Live Tour, and, just better competition to play with. So, and, I don't mean to be a broken record, but I'm going to say this a few times in my analysis on this show, but tee to green is a big stat category at Augusta. And in his last 4 starts, he's gained roughly around 6 strokes on average on the field. And it's a big thing for success. Keep yourself out of trouble, make birdies when you can, and hopefully a lot of, easy pars, not stressful pars. It's similar to, what we talk about in baseball with pitching. It's, there's pitchers that have, tougher outs and more stressful pitch counts when they get down and with runners on base. Right. And that's what we see at Augusta with, really trying to grind pars and not lose strokes to the field.
There we go. Sean Alvarez and Nick Borrman joining us. Nick, top 10 finisher. And the same question to you, Sean. Nick, go first.
Yeah, Bobby Mack. Robert McIntyre would be the name you might see on the actual odds board, but Bobby Mack, as we like to call him. The one thing missing for him at Augusta National is experience. This is only his third start at Augusta, and he didn't get the invite the last 2 years, but he did have respectable finishes when he did go. So he played in 21 and 22. He finished tied for 12th, tied for 23rd. So pretty solid for his first two go-arounds, but he's a much better player, much more consistent player now than he was back then even. Aside from, his experience at Augusta, his current form is up there with the best right now. He's got 3 top 11 finishes in just his last 4 starts. He was tied for 6th at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, tied for 11th at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, 9th at the Players. So good form. The history, maybe not quite there, but a little bit of it. And it was successful when he was there. And you combine the strong fields where he had all those finishes with that history. I think it's going to provide him a good week this week. Everything looks that way. The one last little tidbit I'll throw in there, it's not in any sort of number or anything you're going to find like that. Robert McIntyre is a lefty. And I bring that up because Augusta National is a place that actually rewards lefties. We've had a lot of lefty success here. Bubba Watson, multiple winner, Phil Mickelson, multiple winner, Mike Weir. So listen, is it going to be the thing that makes it only going to bet lefties this week? Of course not. But there are a lot of dog legs to the left, and cut shots for a lefty going that direction are a lot easier to hold, a lot easier to do. It's hard for these guys to draw the golf ball with these drivers nowadays. So just one little extra, let's call it 1.5% edge being a lefty. Other than that, his form and his experience here are good enough for me. I think he's top 10. He's plus 400, 4-1, or top 20 is plus 150. And I just want to remind everybody, the Masters field, you're going to see this in the odds. Like you'd probably expect McIntyre to be plus 250 to plus 300 at like a U.S. Open, but the Masters field is only 95 players, and you got to remember 20 of those are off the bat or throwaways. You got amateurs, you got all the past champions, that are, 50, 60 years old. So it's reflected in the odds, but I do think he's going to have a good week.
Nick Borrman, everyone. Robert McIntyre, top 10 plus 400, top 20 plus 150. Sean, what do you got?
Yeah, so let's look at Xander Schauffele. And, while Xander's coming off his rib injury, obviously that's, somewhat affected his game, whether or not he can be, confident making a swing on it. A rib injury is not necessarily something that is going to be quick to get over. And if you look at what he did in the Valspar last week, he actually had the best approach numbers by any golfer on any tour in 2025 by gaining over 11 strokes on the field with his approach numbers. So to me, that tells me that his swing is feeling a lot better. And he also did that while losing strokes off the tee. So he wasn't in prime position, but he was flagging his irons all week. And like I said, in the previous analysis, tee to green numbers are massive at Augusta and getting in the right spots. And so if he's hitting his irons that well going into this week, I just think that he's trending on the upward angle coming off that injury. And if you look at his career starts in majors, this will be his 31st career start in a major, and he has 15 top 10 finishes. That's not top 20. That's not top 30. Top 10 in ties. He's done it half of his starts. And if you break down Augusta, he's actually 4 for 7 in top 10 finishes. And as Nick alluded to, we can basically just toss out his rookie appearance when he finished tied for 50th. And then you look at it and he's 4 for 6 at Augusta getting in that top 10. So you give me a guy that's hitting the ball really well. He's one of the best golfers in the world. Really the only question mark is that injury and going into it. But I think he answered a lot of those questions last week with the way that he played. So getting around plus 160 on Xander Schauffele to finish, top 10, I just think there's a lot of value there for somebody that is playing as well as he has and has the course history at Augusta.
Yeah, and some of the listeners think my voice is raspy. Corey Connors outright winner, 60-1, Nick Borrman. I love that pick. I've bet it myself. Obviously, I'm Canadian, so tell me why.
Yes, Canadian Corey Connors. Listen, truth be told, I'm asking a lot here because Corey Connors the week to bet him was last week. He's only won twice on the PGA Tour, and both were at the Valero Texas Open. So we are asking a lot, but he's coming in great form. He's playing as well as anyone tee to green right now. 4 straight top 20 finishes, including 3 top 10s. Sean mentioned Augusta National is tailored to ball striking and tee to green game, and it's the number one correlated stat line to look at when you're looking at winners, and why so many world number one players and top players have done well here is because that's why they're number one. So he is up there with those guys, and he might not be the best. He's not your Scotty, he's not your Rory, but he ranks a respectable 14th in strokes gained tee to green over the last year, the last 12 months. Yet he sits around 25th or so in terms of the odds and favorites this week. So I like that disparity, right? We're getting value on a guy that should probably be, I don't want to say half a number, but maybe 40 to 1. So I think he puts good value on 60 to 1. You got a guy like Brooks Koepka, he's 30 to 1. He's just got one top 15 finish in his last 14 starts on a much weaker live tour. So, like, that's the comparison to me. I'm like, I just don't agree with the pricing on Connors. Right. Does he get over the finish line? I know we're asking a lot, but like I always do, I like to back that up. Top 10s 4 to 1, and he's got 3 top 10s in 7 starts at Augusta. So he can certainly do that in top 20 plus 160. But I do think he can give us a chance on Sunday at 60 to 1.
Sean, I wanted to put up the pic that you sent me last night, but we can't size it right, and it doesn't look right. But there is a guy that engraves golf clubs, and I'll give him a shout-out. Light Work, Lite Work. You could check out his stuff at the website, which is, what is the website? I don't know, Lightwork something or other. Anyway, he sent me a Scotty Cameron putter engraved with all the Grateful Dead insignias, and I want it bad. Yeah, I want it bad. Sean, what is your underdog pick of the week?
Yeah, so I'm going to lean on Shane Lowry, who's playing he's quietly well lately. He had a second place finish at the AT&T Pebble Beach. He had seventh place finish in the Arnold Palmer, T20 in the Players, T8 on the Valspar, but he's not really kind of in the mix on Sunday. So we're not really seeing him, on the PGA Tour coverage. So he's kind of playing that quiet game. And, like Nick and I have just alluded to with the tee to green, correlated stats and how important they are at Augusta. If you look at Shane Lowry, he hasn't lost strokes tee to green to the field since last June in the Memorial. So he's playing really well. He's playing a little bit more on the quiet side. And really, he just needs to figure out the putter. Like I said earlier, you're not going to win the Masters by gaining a bunch of strokes on the field putting, but you can definitely lose it by losing strokes putting. So if he can just kind of be around even, he doesn't necessarily need to gain a lot of strokes. But, I mean, if he could just get that happy median of, 0 strokes putting, I really think that he's going to be around Sunday. And I think that we're getting a healthy number at 45 to 1, considering how well he's playing going into this Masters.
There we go. Sean, I think Dan has the pick. Dan, put the pick up for us so everyone. Oh, that's not the pick. Dan, get that pick out of here.
That's not the picture you wanted? I thought this was the picture that you wanted. I'm sorry. I put up the wrong one, guys. I'm sorry. I thought this was the one that you wanted. No good, Prez?
That was definitely,
isn't that the one I thought?
Definitely not the picture I sent, Prez.
No.
I can never unsee that.
I was starting to get concerned.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay.
How's your chest so hairless, Prez? You're like a hairless rodent.
It's still hairless. What do you want from me anyway? Oh, my God. Okay, Nick Borrman, you got a special. It's with Andy. It's $29. Buy Nick, get Andy. Buy Andy, get Nick. Sean Alvarez, golf 10. Get $10 off of Sean's Masters package. So golf 10 for Sean. No promo code required for Nick and Andy. Guys, such a freaking pleasure to have both of you doing this. I'm not going to ask what you have to promote. We got to move on. But I know you have Masters picks. And I can't wait to golf with you guys, really. We're got to make that happen. Thanks for doing this, everyone. Dan, where the hell did you get that picture from, dude?
This is I can't reveal my sources, Prez. That's the number one rule: never reveal your sources. So I can't share where I got that. I'm just glad that I have it, and we'll use it in other capacities. I think Matt Barnaby would get a kick out of that on the blue line. What do you think?
Yeah. I got a kick out of that. Okay. Pavlos joining us with some Champions League soccer. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I know your time zone. Well, it's not so bad. It's not like 2 a.m. where you are.
It's 7:30, 7:40 in the evening. So it's a decent time for me.
Okay, there we go. Pavlos, Champions League going. Your game starts in 2 hours and change. I hand the microphone to you, my brother.
Okay, huge game. Barcelona versus Dortmund. Lopsided matchup as Barcelona are the big favorites here. Close to -300. The draw is at +460. Dortmund are +700. Underdogs on the road. The Asian spread is set at 1.5. The Asian total is set at 3.5. There is no way to go here but Barcelona. Bayern got bested yesterday by Inter Milan. Now this is the 6th meeting between the two sides. Dortmund have never won once against Barca. They have 2 draws and 3 losses. And this two also met in the league phase of the Champions League back in December, I believe, where Barcelona won in Germany by 3-2. So Barcelona, they're doing really well at home with German teams. They have 27 wins, 1 draw, and 10 losses. And Dortmund, they're not doing well in Spanish or in Spain. Their away record in Spain is 3 wins, 5 draws, and 12 losses. So Barcelona are playing, I think they're top 3 best teams in Europe right now. Unbeaten in 2025. I don't see that changing in this match either. They are one of the few teams also to have the treble dream alive, in the sense that they're leading the La Liga. They're 4 points above Real Madrid. They're through to the Copa del Rey final, which is the Spanish Cup, and they're also here in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So winning the Champions League and the league and the cup, that is a treble. So that's 3 titles in a season. I like goals here. I like the over 3.5 goals, -110. Barcelona went 9-1 to the over 2.5 goals in the Champions League so far, and 7-3 to the over 3.5 goals, regardless of venue, and 4-1 at home. So this is a team that can easily bag 3, 4, 5 goals, but sometimes they're leaky at the back. They concede a few goals here and there. Dortmund, they changed their coach about a couple of months ago. Mixed results, 6 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses in all competitions. But interesting is that they tried to change. They changed their formation to a back 3, so they have now 3 defenders, and it worked better for their offense for whatever reason. They scored 4 and 3 goals respectively in the last 2 matches, but they didn't keep a clean sheet. And in fact, their defense has been a problem all season. They kept a clean sheet in just 25% of their matches, regardless of venue. Just 11 clean sheets in 42 matches, and just 6 clean sheets in 22 away matches. That's also close to 1 in 4. So they're coming here with a lot of injuries. Dortmund, they are depleted. So everybody's going to play one line behind. So the creative midfielder will play as a holding midfielder. The holding midfielder will play as a center back.
Right.
Another left back is going to play as a center. They're using a lot of players out of position because they have an injury crisis right now, and this doesn't look well. You really don't want that when you're going to face one of the hottest teams in Europe. I see goals here. Again, I like the over 3.5 goals at -110. If you like a player prop as well, I can give you Benzenbaini. It's the center back for Dortmund to be carded at +200. He's going to be guarding Lamine Yamal, who is, one of the best players in the world right now. He's just 18 years old or something. He's going to give Benzenbaini a real run for his money. So +200 on Benzenbaini to be carded. But yeah, I like goals here. So I think the over 3.5 goals at -110. Again, this is supposed to be where this match should go, right? Now, whether I think Dortmund get on the score sheet because they have a good offense and Barcelona are just a bit leaky at the back, so maybe both teams should score here. So I like the over 3.5 goals, -110, and that's it.
Wonderful. Are you kidding me, Pavlos? That was such a great take. Guys, if you want to bet soccer, this is the man. And again, we have a promo code. Today's promo code day over at WagerTalk Today. SOC7 gets 7 days, all his soccer plays for only $49. That's SOC7. What do you have to promote, my friend?
Okay, I have 5 plays for today. Champions League. It's one of them is a 4% Asian spread bet in the CONCACAF Champions League, which is essentially the Champions League of Northern and Central America. We got 2 plays in the Copa Libertadores, which is the Champions League of South America. We got 3 plays for tomorrow in the Europa League. We have a 5% for next week's Champions League matches on Wednesday. It's a 5% total. You should really not miss this one. And we're doing a really good job with 5% totals, 10-4 in UEFA competitions, and 22-10 in my last 32 5% totals. So, and I do have 3 plays on Friday, at least 4 plays on Saturday, and I still haven't looked at Sunday. So we're entering a huge period filled with really interesting matchups. I feel very confident. I haven't felt confident in like the past 2 months, but now, results are coming in, and teams are dropping one competition in favor of the other. So this is my best period. If you remember the last summer and the summer before that, starting in May, late April and May, we did a lot of damage in these competitions because we know when a team goes up to Bolivia to play in 12,000 feet, we're going to fade them in the next match, right? So this is the best period in fixtures. At least for me, I can read them right. So we got a hell of a lot of plays in the next week. So use that code, get 7 days for just $49. I mean, just the 5% is $35. So you're getting a bunch of plays and multiple best bets with that. So give me a try for the next week, and hopefully we'll make a lot of money, and you'll be more inclined to get my plays in the summer, because again, I do a lot of damage in the summer.
There we go. Pavlos Laguretos, everybody. What a show. Nick Borrman, Sean Alvarez, 20 minutes or so of Masters talk. Andy Lang, Gianni The Greek, Pavlos. So happy to have all of them. Really appreciate all of you guys. Hit that like button. Make sure to comment on these videos. If you watch them on any streaming service, give us a review. I am not here tomorrow. Andy Lang will be hosting the show tomorrow. Teddy Covers is our featured expert. Make sure to check that out. We got a great show planned for you tomorrow. Puck time is up. The blue line is up. WagerTalk Today is now up. I hope I won't be here on Friday because I'm playing a 3-day event. If I'm here Friday, I didn't make it through, but we'll find that out late tomorrow afternoon. On behalf of Dan Alexander and myself, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon.